Everyone, it is currently the 18th of November 2015. Meteorologist Robert Spetta here with you once again with a Western Pacific Weather.com update. I know it's been a while since I've done a green screen update, or my videos for that matter. I've kind of tapered off on them, been rather busy. Still, Monday through Friday, you can find me on NHK World. Of course, I'm working in front of the green screen there, talking about the weather globally. But with that, I have a harder time specifically talking about our tropical systems, especially one way out there in the open ocean, not directly impacting anyone right now outside of a few small islands. Several thousand people out here, actually. I shouldn't say anyone, who are feeling the effects of this. And even on Pompeii, tropical storm warnings in effect today. But I do want to mention this storm because I know people over here in the Philippines really worried about it. And I don't blame people. And some people are saying, hey, you shouldn't be panicking on this. You definitely shouldn't be, but I don't blame them because in November and December, how many storms have we gotten since 2011 that formed in this exact location and up being Grinch storms in the Philippines? That's what they've been called. 2011, we had Wilma. 2012, Bofa. 13, Haiyan. And 14, we had Hagupit. So, I get it, but thanks to El Nino, and I really say that, I think this one's going to recurve towards the north, and it shouldn't have a direct impact on the Philippines or Japan for that matter as well. But we're still long range, so we're going to talk about what could happen out here with this storm system. Let's talk about what's going on right now. Well, we have severe tropical storm info. Winds right now about 55 kilometers, or excuse me, 55 gusts into 70 knots. Sustained winds. It is moving northwest or just towards the west right now, about 25 kilometers per hour, so moving at a decent speed. Pressure is down to 992 hectopascals. That's according to the Japan Meteorological Agency. Remember, none of the other agencies, or specifically JTWC that is, does not use hectopascals. Here's your 3-day outlook from the Japan Meteorological Agency, the official warning in the Western Pacific. Still have these islands out here being impacted through the rest of the work week, but heading into Saturday, they'll be passing just towards the south of Guam. JTWC's track actually pushing just towards the south of Guam on your Saturday as well, between 00 and 03 Universal Time. So the big key thing that we're talking about here, though, is what is the wind field going to be like on this storm system, because right now it does look like the further south it goes, the less the winds are going to be, right? Well, it does look like tropical storm strength winds expected there in Guam, but I do think this could edge a little bit farther towards the north. Plus, you have the interaction with this area of high pressure way off here towards the north that's increasing the trade winds across this area, and that's why if you're in Guam already, the winds are picking up because of this storm system starting to interact with those trade winds. So you're going to be seeing some pretty gusty weather, even though that center line may be south of you. I wouldn't let your guard down just yet on this. By the way, this is a long-range outlook, and what I'm talking about is this storm recurving towards the north because of a cold front coming down from the south, and then you have the Westpac High, which typically is farther east, but I do think this should retreat. Now, if that stays in place, it could buffer this a little bit farther towards the north, and our storm could go farther west, closer to the Philippines by next week. So these are some things, when to get beyond 3 to 5 days in the outlook, you have to keep in mind and weigh into your forecast. Right now, though, it's Guam that we're talking about, and really the closest approach here. By the way, this is our HWRF model. It's a high-resolution model, specifically designed for tropical systems. This one's keeping a little bit farther towards the south, but you can see where the tightest of the pressure gradient is right in here. That's where you're seeing the highest winds. Guam's just off here towards north. It will be just outside of those damaging winds if this was to hold out. That's the key thing. If this swings a little farther north, which, like as I mentioned, I think it could, that's when you're going to start to see those winds pick up here for those of you. Actually, let's go take a look at the ECMWF model. And I like using this. This is our Meteor app, by the way, here. And what you can see as we go ahead into Saturday and Sunday is the ECMWF actually takes it a little bit closer to Guam, bringing those max winds near typhoon strength as it does continue to push overhead. Widespread showers really starting on Friday into Saturday, and then just continuing all day on Saturday and even over towards Sunday. But this is what I'm talking about, that pressure gradient. Look at the big wind field off here towards the north, and this is consistent with all model guidance and just overall forecast consensus. Big wind field is because of that interaction with the high, the Westpac high, and our tropical system. But if you scroll back towards the northwest, as our storm moves along, we got some of these areas coming in out of Japan, and I think that's what's going to be pulling our storm off towards the north. It's a lot going on here, guys. So let's go back to the green screen here and talk about what's going on further. Well, as far as Guam is concerned, as I mentioned, increasing showers on your Thursday. Friday, we're going to be looking at the winds really picking up, mainly because of that gradient associated with trade winds and just the interaction. But Saturday, that's going to be the day. You just want to have everything ready by then. Don't try to be that person running out in the storm, getting a bottle of water, for example. Try to get that done here on Thursday and hopefully by Friday morning. I'm sure many people there in Guam are going to just be asked to stay indoors throughout the day on Saturday anyways. So here is the current streamline analysis. If you watch my updates, you know I love using these. I gotta get out of the way here. So here's the overall background flow that we're talking about. It's from 850 millibars to 500 millibars. Typically, tropical systems like to follow these, kind of like water flowing down a stream. And you get these areas right here in the blues. That is the mountains that these rivers like to flow around. So right here, we still have those general winds pulling west. And yes, if our storm is to stay down here farther towards the south, it could pull into the Philippines. It's still possible, but you see this high? That should treat east as we get the next cold surge coming in from the north. At the very least, it should weaken off our storm, not intensify it by any means, and that should pull it towards the north. Let's take a look at some of the model guidance now. Well, actually, first, I want to show you this, the total precipitable water. And also, similar thing I'm just talking about here, that flow that's coming around the western periphery of the Westpac High. This should want to follow that in the extended range. Here's your GFS Ensemble, by the way. GFS conclusive. We're looking at turn towards the north. But the ECMWF, you have to compare models. Don't ever look at just one model. Has this coming towards the west a little bit farther, and see how it just kind of stalls out here before pulling towards the northeast. Don't look at this and think this means a direct hit in the Philippines. It just means it stalls out, and then it kind of, a lot of these western liars like linger here. It's because of that cold surge I keep on talking about that should bump this along. It's just predicting it a little bit later in the game. This would be bad news though, because it could mean a lot of rain there for northeastern areas of the Philippines. Thing is, parts of Luzon, despite the fact we've already got tropical systems out here this year, are still in drought. They need the rain, so it could be good news. Hopefully we don't get a full-fledged typhoon hitting that area of the country. I don't think that's going to be happening, so that's what we're talking about right now. And really, the next several days, going to continue to keep you guys posted. I'm not sure if I'm going to do more green screen updates. It's kind of a pain. The thing is, and when you're trying to run this at home, I did several takes on this. It is very annoying trying to run it. I got several monitors up as well, and you have to remember my microphone situation never got fixed with my wireless mic, so I'm kind of yelling it into my mic on the wall here, so it is what it is. Also, you may notice I got the mustache, by the way. If you watched all the way through, you're probably one of those people that like these updates. Please do go check out the link. I'm going to put it down below if you're watching this on YouTube. Movember for men's prostate and testicular cancer research. And any money there also helps out as well. It goes directly into the organization. So please do go check that out. All right, guys. That is all for me right now. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, post them down there in the comment box below. Stay safe out there.